hear
This
her give
conference
you
will now be recorded.
a little warning. But for those that aren't able to join us today, I wanted to make sure that we record this for them. So welcome everybody. Thank you again for spending Saturday afternoon with us. We're all very excited that the golf course is going to be reopening. 2020, we closed the doors on March 13th, and we haven't been able to open to the public. We did run a summer program, and then we have also been running our after school classes as well, limited amounts. But we're very, very excited to open the golf course. So before we jump into all the details, I wanted to give our team an opportunity to introduce themselves. And I'm going to start with Nick. Nick, did you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, certainly. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. Really appreciate your time. I know it's, quite a commitment on a Saturday afternoon, but we really appreciate you spending time with us and working as our partner as we head forward and try to, get the young adults back out onto the golf course and do what we can. And I know that the schools have had challenges with, their budgets as we have, and it's great that we're all just kind of working together, just seeing if we can, get them all out there as quick as we can and have it be mutually beneficial. So again, thank you for your time. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you, Nick. And my name's Jessica Avi, for those of you I haven't met in person. And I've been with First Tee for just over 13 years now, and really heavily involved in the teens program. And one of the areas that we've been looking at is we have so many students come with our daytime program, and then they drop off in middle school. So how to really keep them in high school, and putting a lot of intentionality behind some skills training so that we can look at getting more golfers on the golf team. Plus, we have some really fantastic scholarships and national opportunities that we want to make sure are available to the whole community, not just a few of our members. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Jonathan.
Yeah, so my name's Jonathan Hinojosa. I've been with the program for almost 8 years, campus coordinator. So I'm going to be working primarily with the teenagers in the program. Have been working on getting some teenagers that are seniors this year into some scholarship opportunities that the First Tee offers. So I'm kind of hoping to make some connections with the students that you guys have on your golf team, show them kind of what the First Tee has to offer during their meeting times here on the golf course if you guys choose to use their facility, and pretty much show them what we're more than just a golf course and what we have to offer for them in their high school years. And I'll be kind of your go-to for scheduling practices and getting your classes set on our golf course as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. And then I'm going to turn it over to you guys now to introduce yourselves. And I'll start with Alan. Before I do that, I noticed I've got Emiliano on the call and I don't have your name on the list. So I'll have you go last, and then you can share with us the school and your involvement. And then if you can just share with us when you speak how long you've been involved and why you chose to be part of the golf team.
So I'm Alan Takamura, teaching coach at Salinas High School. This is my second year coaching both the boys and girls. As the head coach, I've off and on helped out with both programs for 20 years, I guess, but had other things going on and wasn't able to do that until last year. So I'm kind of new to the coaching, I guess, of golf as the head coach, all the scheduling and whatnot, and the golf course availability. That's been a challenge this year for sure because of COVID. But I've coached other sports for 20 plus years. So being around kids is something that I enjoy immensely. So I'm having a good time, even though we do have some challenges this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'll turn it over to Alisal.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. Neil Patel, Sunil Patel, boys golf. I know Emiliano's online, so he's our new girls golf coach, just to let you know. So I'm sure he'll do a great job there. I've been part of the Alsop golf team almost 20 years. I can't believe I'm saying that. When I started, I was one of the youngest rookie coaches, and now here we are. I think one of the oldest. So it's been 20 good years, and I'm just very happy that, like I said earlier, Twin Creeks is coming back online. You know, our area has suffered a lot. We've been inside for a year, and these students have, it's been rough. I mean, as a teacher, I know Alan can probably also testify that these students are struggling. Socio-emotional damage that this pandemic has done has been phenomenal. And so I think coaches and golf programs like yours, are going to be one of the solutions in terms of getting us out of this ugly fog, ugly haze of the last year. So I'm looking forward to this. It's weird this year for some reason when you meet the students, they actually want to come out and stay longer and longer and longer, because they don't want to go back, and so that's a good thing, So let's keep them busy as long as possible. All right, so thank you.
Awesome. Well, and if Emiliano's with the girls team for LSL, Emiliano, do you want to go next and introduce yourself? I like to give it like the 5-second computer lag, but I don't want to put him on the spot. He might not have his mic working. So Lori, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay, my name is Lori Lowenson, and I'm actually the activities director at North County High School. I actually went there quite a few years ago as well. But when they started up sports again and brought people back, my dad was a coach and the athletic director at North County for many years. So when they needed some help getting sports back up and running, of course, sports is very important to our family. So I maybe stupidly stepped forward and said I would help with this. I'm the mother of a First Tee alum. She went through very far through the program, all the way through. She was an ace. She was the first ace all the way through. So we love the First Tee, and we were very happy to get this invite today and think about coming and working over there with our students. So.
Hi, Jonathan. I said hi to Jessica earlier, but I'm gonna say hi to you too.
Hey, what's
And
up?
it looks like Emiliano, you might be able to use your microphone now.
Yeah, sorry. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Emiliano Ferrer, and first year head coach girls golf. I have helped in other sports. This year they asked me if I was willing to step up. Under our current situation, some people are comfortable and not comfortable being out and about right now. I helped out with girls golf, I want to say 5 years ago as an assistant. So it was a good experience. It's awesome. The group of girls that we have, it's small, but they're all first year. Oh no, we have one returner and the other 4 are first year. So it's just an awesome experience. I'm glad First Tee is opening up. I think Mr. Patel mentioned and Alan as well, it's been kind of difficult in scheduling our practices with only one golf course available to all the high schools that are in town. And let's hope for the best, and we continue to decrease, in our tiers that we have, and that more of us, more students are able to get out there and enjoy the sports.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, I think that's everybody that's on the call, and I'm glad to get a little bit more information about you. I think I learned something new about each one of you today. I'm going to go ahead and jump into our next slide, which is some details about us reopening. So I guess first detail is First Tee is completely rebranded. So if you notice, the logo is not the same logo that you're used to seeing. And this is across the whole network. And so you'll see this rebranding a lot. It's kind of got a new color scheme, all new fonts, lots of patterns. And so with that rebranding, the name Twin Creeks Golf Course is kind of being archived, and we're moving forward with First Tee Monterey County. So we'll be referring to the golf course really specifically as First Tee Monterey County. Now, the reopening is going to be on Monday. So what that means is golf bookings are online right now. You can go to Golf Now, or you can go to our website, and the public can book tee times. What we're hoping to do is provide access to practice facility. I've spoken with a couple of you, and I've heard the challenges of, the other golf courses promising you hitting stations, and then you get there with your whole team and the whole driving range is full of paid customers, and so they won't let the high schoolers play, and not being able to get on course because everybody seems to want to be out golfing right now. So what we've done is we've basically reserved 4 hitting stations in the middle of our range that will be for high school golf teams. We've reserved 6 hitting stations on the right side of our range that will be for the public. And then we have X number of stations for our classes for the participants that we run after school. Now, what we're hoping is to get the teens that are high school golfers membership. There's a couple of reasons that we want to get them membership. One of those is going to be the discounted rates that they'll receive as a member to the golf course. And then another is exposure to the golf and life skills experience. I heard all of you talk about how there's social anxieties now, dealing with this digital divide and getting back in the classroom, and then dealing with their different parents and the levels of fear that they may have versus the levels of fear that the parents have. And I think the golf and life skills experience at the teen level really focuses on resilience skills and some goal setting skills. And Jonathan is really going to set up as your lead coach for all the golf teams. He's almost finished with his level 2 training, about to be a recognized First Tee coach. And so we really want to provide these teams with some of the tools that the First Tee has, really evidence-based curriculum to support them through these high school years. So looking at our membership, in the past, I know we've had many of the golf teams over on campus before. Our membership used to be a drop-in model. So basically, once you're a member of the First Tee, you could come anytime you wanted, which was really great for our community. Unfortunately, with the county restrictions, registration is required. You have to have members pre-registered. You basically have to know who's going to be on campus before they get there. So what we've done is we've changed our membership. Instead of an annual membership, it's now a series. So what that means is parents typically pay $50 for an 8-week series, and they get to come 1 day a week. So when parents normally register, they would have to register for the whole 8 weeks, and they pay $50 right up front per child. What we've agreed to do is kind of prorate our series. So if a parent comes in on the last 2 weeks, we wouldn't charge them $50 to attend for just 2 weeks. And so what that prorate boils down to is about $625 a week. So what we've done is created a registration for the high school golf teams, and that's this QR code you see on the top right of your screen. This is what you're going to want to give to the parents of your golfers to get them registered really as quick as possible. I know the season's very short. You know, we're coming in on the end of your season, so the faster we can get your students through this registration and consider them members, the better. When I typed up this slide, we were going to look at these two different series. So there's winter 1, which ends at the end of next week, and then we go on a break week, and then we start our spring series. So instead of having your parents fill out 2 separate registrations, I have given you the link to the spring registration. And what I'm going to ask you to share with your parents is they are going to sign up for X number of weeks. Okay, so weeks would start really Monday, the 22nd is week 1. They can come through our break week, and they can come as many of those spring weeks as they want to be a member. If they only want to go to the end of your season, I think I heard that's April 15th. I think it's 4 weeks from the 22nd of March to April 15th. So when they fill out that form at the top right, they would choose that I'm a high school, they would fill in the name of their golf team, and they would choose 4 weeks. And then they make a payment at the end. Their registration at that point is complete. The next step, and Jonathan's gonna chat the link to that registration to all of you so that that's something you can easily send to your parents. I just like putting QR codes up because I text stuff out and it's really easy to pull up with your phone. But John will make sure you guys get that link in your chat soon. When they're a member, we are going to require their attendance at least 1 day a week. And that required attendance is going to be the day that those 4 hitting stations are yours. Jonathan is yours for 90 minutes, and you have access to the course really from 3:30 to 5:30. Our last tee time for the public sold is 3:30. So once that public group tees off, on the day that you've reserved with Jonathan, you know, you can have groups tee off behind that last group. Everybody does have to be off the course by 5:30 p.m. But at least as part of the membership and what your parents are paying for is going to be a guaranteed 1 day a week with 4 hitting stations and one of our coaches, and the ability to go on course after that like 90-minute practice. Another benefit of being a member is the NCGA Youth on Course membership. So I know this is a golden carrot for a lot of the high school golfers because they do want to go practice at other facilities or probably play on their own. And the Youth on Course gives such great discounted rates, which I think have changed a little bit during COVID. I know they used to be kind of like a max of $5, but I think, yeah. So it's really cool. I think everybody wishes they were under 18 so that they could be a Youth on Course member. National opportunities. I know this is only one bullet, but this is a really big deal. National opportunities is everything from local partnerships to our national partnerships. So I think one of the biggest ones, and Alyssa knows this very well as a winner, is the John Zoller Scholarship. John Zoller was one of our founding chairmen. He really helped make the First Tee come to Sweet as possible. And there's a $10,000 scholarship for seniors every year for certain GPA and certain requirements. Other national opportunities include like leadership academies where they get to go to Florida, learn from reps from like Coca-Cola, Disney. There's a Wells Fargo essay contest where they can win a trip out to Washington. There's a college prep program where if they're like really focused on kind of D1 golf, there's a great opportunity through the home office. I think most of your students probably know us for the Pure Insurance that we do at Pebble Beach in September. And there's always the aspirations to play on Pebble Beach with a professional golfer. So that's kind of another one of those top of the lines. And then recently, you know, we partnered with Quail Golf Association for a scholarship with them. We've partnered with AT&T Junior Golf for a scholarship with them. And these are all scholarships that are specific to First Tee members. So yes, they do offer scholarships for their own members, but there are dedicated scholarships for first tee kids. And then the last one on here is the discounted rates. So we're asking you to commit to at least 1 day a week if your kids sign up to be members, where your golf team, is coming at the same time every week with our lead coach. But then they can also come on those other days that we're open as a member of the public, but they get discounted rates. So those discounted rates are $2 now to go on course and $2 for a large bucket of balls per player. And they have to be pre-reserved. So these non-class days, the public details is really we're open Monday through Friday. First tee time is going to be 8:30 at the earliest. We're going to allow golfers to arrive up to 30 minutes before their tee time to practice. If they buy, I think, a bucket of balls, they're able to come an hour early. They do, if they're members and they want to go on course and they want that discounted rate, they have to reserve time with their lead coach. And that will help kind of circumvent the Golf Now expensive rate, and we can make sure that they get their discounted rate. So you do have to plan ahead of time a little bit, because I anticipate that those Golf Now tee times are going to sell out very quickly. So the sooner you let us know when you want to book some tee times, we will make sure that those Golf Now get removed so that you're guaranteed those spots. It is first come, first serve. And then, like I said, if they come on a non-day that they've signed up for our class, they would be using those 6 hitting stations on the right. So somebody like Alan would have a challenge bringing his entire team out there, because there's only 6 hitting stations. So we do have limited public that we're allowed to let on campus at a time. So on those non-golf class days, you might have to limit how many of your golfers come at a time to practice. So I know that was a mouthful. I promised I wouldn't talk too long, but I've got another QR code up here for you. So I'm going to ask you guys to take a survey. If you're one of the golf coaches, if you're one of the directors, you may not know as many of the details, but none of them are required, so you're welcome to fill out as much as you can. But this is really to give us an idea of how many players you have coming, what days of the week you would be interested. In a perfect world, before we hang up today, you will have a day locked in. And if we have 3 different schools that all want the same day, we can do a lottery drawing before the end of this call for those hot days. But I'd love to make sure that we at least have an idea of what day that you guys want before we get off this call. So I'm going to go ahead now and just open it up for questions.
I'm for Lori getting the first choice. That's what I'm for.
That's so sweet.
That is.
Yeah. No, North Monterey County, you got Clyde the Glide over there. He's a man I've met many times.
So as far as days go, I think that Monday would be the day that would work best for us.
Okay. So Jonathan, if you can pull up that spreadsheet that we're working on and just make notes of that for North Monterey County. Hopefully Lori's also working on that survey, which will capture that date for us. And then before we get too into questions, I'm actually going to back up to this slide. And Bill, did you want to take just a moment to introduce yourself and say hello?
Sure. I'm just really, first and foremost, thank everybody for, putting their weekend aside basically for us for a few hours to be a part of this. I know Jessica and Nick and Jonathan are very excited about, having a deeper relationship with our local high schools and golf in general, with our young golfers all the way to our senior golfers. When I say senior, I mean high schoolers, and to provide a deeper program to support and help the coaches and athletic directors get young people into college. That is our goal. When you are a partner, I'll let Nick talk more about it in just a second, but I just wanted to say as a CEO, I'm really proud and really confident in what Jessica and Nick and Jonathan are going to do with the program. I look forward to us being able to support it. Bruce Taylor has dedicated some money with Taylor Farms to help us have an advanced golf program, and I'll let Nick talk a little bit about that more later. But it was important for me to be here and just to be supportive of you all as well as the team that's putting this together. But I'm just really just a I guess I would say, I hate to call myself that, but almost a pencil sharpener that the people who are the pencils who do the work with the pencil sharpen themselves against. So sorry that I'm a little bit tongue tied. I got up super early this morning by mistake, but I am really proud and appreciate what Jessica's doing to help y'all. Sorry that I was babbling. Thank you.
Nick, was there anything else that you wanted to add to that before I jump into the questions?
Okay, sorry.
I was going to say,
Forgot the mute button.
Well, you
All
up,
right.
I know I saw your email about 4 o'clock this morning, so I know you were up early.
Oh dear, I know that our schedules are just upside down now. Well, thanks, Bill. Really, we just want to reiterate what has already been said. We really we want to put a little more emphasis on golf. You know, for the last 16 years with Varsity, you know, it's all been life golf and life skills, but primarily life skills. And I just want to say that we're making a conscientious effort and strategically planning to expand our sort of golf development side of the program and the organization, and we see the teams being, you know, a huge and integral part of that. And we've got some, you know, really wonderful ideas and things that are already in sort of the hopper that we're going to be able to share with all the teens and high school golfers. So, you know, we're really looking forward to a completely sort of different approach, and I think it'll be very successful. I think it'll be, you know, very profitable, you know, for all the high school students.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Yeah, what I want to remind each of you is that, you know, first, he's been around Monterey County since 2004, and I would almost bet that probably 70 to 75% of your students have been through our program, because we work with, you know, the 12 Alisal schools, and I think 3 of the Salinas schools, North Monterey County. So all 4th, 5th, and 6th graders have been through the program. So, I mean, there's a really good chance that your students have been exposed to golf. You know, and part of the recruitment, I know, you know, Clyde is recruiting hardcore. You know, part of our job is to make that recruiting a little bit easier. Jonathan, was there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, just pretty much if you guys come to the campus, I look forward to working with your students, getting them just the bigger picture of what the Firstie is really trying to offer. I know Nick kind of touched on trying to get golf back up and running, and I've just been working really hard lately on the scholarship opportunities. So I think that would be it's a great experience to be able to pass on to your students. I know there's other opportunities that come in, not just scholarships. There's internships that come up. I know I worked with a couple seniors working on trying to get their applications in. So just trying to get your students to realize how much First Tee has to offer by being a member and a participant here. And hopefully, I know Coach Patel mentioned about just kids taking a huge impact towards their mental health pretty much by being home all pretty much for a whole year, and giving them a place to kind of come and socialize in a safe environment, and get high school sports back and running again. I think it's really, really awesome for the community.
And Johnny, I would just like to just piggyback on that as well. And I'm sure you're all aware of it, but any of your students should never spend any money on golf equipment. You know, we've got supplies. We got so much supplies. We have to, you know, move it on sometimes to other organizations. So golf equipment, you know, from golf balls, tees to clubs, clothing, you name it, we've got it.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. That's a great point.
Jessica, if you don't mind, I thought I would take this opportunity to maybe ask Nick and Bill and you if, you know, I'm on the school board for Santa Rita, and we have those 4 elementary schools and 2 middle schools, and we would love to form some type of partnership with you guys, you know. So anytime you guys are ready, let me know. I mean, you know, we need opportunities.
We're ready.
What's the earliest date that you can send them over to
We're
us,
ready.
Coach
You want
Patel?
to start this afternoon?
Summer, if you want, I'll have them out there in May. I will get. We need summer programs.
Oh, I thought you said this afternoon. We were ready.
Yeah, we're ready. Yep.
Put on our shelf.
I was putting out golf balls on the range for him.
You don't have to tell us twice. We're here to serve.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
if we can get something going before the summer, that would be fantastic. Definitely send me an email with some details, and we'll keep that ball rolling quickly.
And I'll give you a call, Coach Patel. That'll be great.
I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime.
So is there any
Before
questions?
you go ahead, Jessica, I just want to emphasize, and if you, our guests would just also spread the word, you know, we are really looking to be an impactful organization, and anything we can help kids be educated in all facets, we want to support the mental, the physical, and the educational side of it in a 360-degree way, the young person. You know, we think about these things constantly and we take them seriously. I mean, the impact that, you know, we feel our organization can have and the opportunities that we can provide, we think and support what the school systems are doing. We think we're second to nobody in the area. So I know the talent that we have in Jessica, Nick, and the rest of our staff. And I say that very proudly. I'm a humble guy, but I'm very kind of boisterous when it comes to talking about our staff. And I just feel like they are second to none and can provide great opportunities to assist educators in what they do. So thank you.
And I put my cell phone down there too. I don't think it's in my email. For those of you that don't have it, feel free to call me if you have any questions. Does everybody feel like they understand fairly well how to get started if you wanted to get your teams out here practicing next week?
So just to clarify, each player has to click on that link and go ahead and register and pay their fees. And here's the thing, I think our season goes up until middle of April. Is that right, Alan? So, you know, we're looking at around 3 to 4 weeks, you know, so
Yep.
you know, $625 is like $24 or whatever, 25, you know, I think that's doable. My only question is scheduling. You know, you know, if we could work out some type of schedule in terms of who comes on what days, that would be helpful.
Awesome. Well, I think if we're going to put North Monterey County on Monday, we've got Alisal and Salinas, and I know Alvarez, they filled out the survey and are available Tuesday, Wednesday. For Salinas and Alisal, what days are you guys looking at?
You want to take one, Alan? Go ahead.
So I'm up in the air right now. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to participate this year just because of our schedule. So I'm just trying to get information and just find out what's available, what we can do, if it's even doable. So go ahead, Neil. If you know a day, go ahead.
All right, Emiliano, what are you thinking? You want to do like a Tuesday, Wednesday thing?
Yeah, I think that would be doable. Yeah.
Well, I'll take whatever's left. So that's what I'm trying to say. What day would you like?
Tuesday.
All right, I'll take Wednesday. Is that simple enough?
Would you be okay with Thursday? For
Myself? Yeah.
LSL
Thursday.
boys?
Thursday's fine.
Well, how about this? We can do LSL Tuesday, Thursday, between boys and girls, you guys pick. And then we'll do North Monterey County Monday, and I'll do Alvarez Wednesday. I think that covers everyone on this call, plus Mac, who filled out the survey. And what that means is, once your kids get registered, so basically Monday, Lori, whoever registers, you get those 4 hitting stations. Jonathan's going to be available for the class. It's, 90 minutes for whoever shows up. If you don't get everybody registered, totally understand, but those 4 hitting stations are dedicated to North Monterey County on Monday. On Tuesday, those 4 hitting stations and Jonathan are dedicated to LaSalle for the boys, and then on Thursday for the girls, and then on Wednesday it'll be Alvarez. Does that make sense? Okay, and then I still have Friday open if any of the other schools come in.
So I had a couple questions about the program, if I could ask.
Of course.
So I guess my first question would be, during that 90-minute golf and life skills portion, what's the vision for what's going to happen during those 90 minutes? Like what would it look like for a team of 12?
That's a great question. I was anticipating that just like the first tee classes, you would have access to all 3 areas of the practice facility. What I asked Jonathan was to keep the lesson plans very flexible because he would be a supporting role to the lead coach. We would want to spend at least the first 5 minutes with the whole team in what we call like a warm up, and then we do 5 fitness categories for them to warm up, and then we would probably start off on the range after that. During the 90 minutes, you could spend all 90 minutes on the range. You could split, half of the group with lead coach, half of the group with first tee coach, range and putting green. I think the idea is that we're going to be really flexible to the needs of the kids. So, if you have 3 kids that need to go practice putting, split them up. That would be fine as long as they're in the participant area of the practice facility, because the putting green will be broken out into public and participant. And then we would want, the last probably 10 minutes of that 90 minutes where we all get back together and Jonathan does a bridge to life, kind of talks about the learner objectives and what they did throughout the 90-minute practice and how that would apply to home or golf or school. So I guess Jonathan talking at the beginning and leading a warm-up exercise, Jonathan talking at the end, and then Jonathan playing a really heavy support role to the lead coach and seamlessly talking about all these learner objectives while they're practicing.
Okay, so I would, or whoever the coach is, would be able to design the practice with Jonathan. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And
we don't want to take over.
Okay, and we could have multiple stations at the same time.
Yes.
It sounds like.
Yeah, and I think for the groups that have players that are over 10, we do have to separate them. We can't have more than groups of 10 in one area at a time. So if you have a group of 12, we would have to only 10 would be allowed in the 4 hitting zone area. You know, they still have to keep their distance at the cone while they're waiting for their turn. But the other, you know, 2 would have to practice either on the putting green or on the chipping area, or wait, you know, further back on the pavilion. We have to keep with the county restrictions, I think, of 10 groups of 10 or less.
And could the
Can I
course,
ask a question, Coach, and to the team here? I'm not as familiar with the curriculum that's going to be set up. You know, what's the age group are we talking about with the teams right now?
high school?
Okay, so we're talking 11th and 12th graders too, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so Nick, and I need some input from you guys. So you know, I know how our basic structure is. Will we have any shift in that structure to kind of we're dealing with a more of a senior level player, where course management and those types of things would be included in the learning experience and strategy. Now, I mean, it's up to the coaches and it's up to, you know, you all. I'm just asking if I'm a parent and my son or daughter is in the program. I'm just trying to imagine, you know, I would ask these questions of you all if I was not involved. I was a parent with a golfer. I would be asking these questions of you all. So, you
It's
know,
a great question, Bill. We, Jonathan and I talked about that a lot because typically when members first come into First Tee, they would start in the player level, even if, you know, they're a 2 handicap, and they would have to kind of certify through the levels. We talked about focusing on the birdie curriculum, which is the goal setting, and then possibly bringing in some of the resilience skills, which is the eagle lessons. So we did want to pull from the birdie and the eagle core lessons for the high school golf team, because we think those will apply to what they're doing more.
okay, thank you. I just had that question because if I have an experienced son or daughter who's a golfer, I think they can get a lot of the learning and educational experiences that we need to document, you know, fairly quickly, you know, out of the way. I don't want to say out of the way, but the learning experience. But I want it to be something too that they feel is supporting what they are actually, you know, in it to do. It's kind of what they said at the Junior Golf Association when I was with Nick at one of their board meetings. And they were talking about, you know, us making it that advanced level type of learning experience and making sure that our coaches and our teams feel like they're getting some of the things in preparation for what they also want to do is the competitive golfer getting ready for matches. So that was just my question. Thank you all for letting me ask.
Yeah, definitely great question. Do we have any other questions?
Just to add on to what Bill just said, I mean, you know, all the schools are really focusing on SEL, social emotional learning, you know. So I think character building traits that First Tee offers and any lesson that would further develop the SEL curriculum, you know, would be appreciated and, you know, and can be developed. So I think there's great amount of value, especially for that first 5 minutes and the last 10 minutes, you know, to get that personal connection and to teach about life, to teach about goal setting, teach about achieving, teach about not giving up, you know, resilience. So for me, having that first 5 minutes and then that closing 10 minutes, those are valuable minutes that we definitely need to incorporate and keep. So I'm looking forward to that with Jonathan and seeing what he comes up with.
That's great, Coach
That's
Patel.
great. That's really good because that's Nick and the team. They do those things better than anybody in the country, and I put my life on that. I really would. I've watched them in action. So I think for us, that's probably the easier side. And I'll let Nick comment and you know correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, very flattering, Bill. I think I probably have to correct you on that one first, but thank you. I do greatly appreciate your accolades. Thank you. Yeah, so Coach Patel, so every lesson that the First Tee delivers, just briefly, it has five. We have to supply and deliver 5 learner objectives. We have to deliver a golf skill. We have to deliver a life skill. We have to deliver a healthy habit. We have to deliver a core value, and then we have to deliver a golf rule. So what we do is we'll be flexible with the high school, and so we'll sort of defer to the coaches to take the lead on kind of the golf skill a lot of the time, because in group lessons, you normally just sort of deliver one golf skill to everybody, but the team, someone might be working on his grip, someone might need to work on his backswing, someone might need to work on his stance. So we'll be flexible in that area. So the golf skill will be more broad, and what I call sort of golfer's choice. But then, the life skill, will be delivered seamlessly throughout the lesson. When they're chipping or Johnny's working with them on full swing, he'll be able to work with them and blend kind of the life skill with the golf skill that they're working on, whatever it is. It's amazing how it all just kind of blends in together, and I think that's the joy and the value of the curriculum itself. So it's going to be interesting. I've worked with some teenagers for the last several years, and we focused on developing sort of apprentices for the First Tee, and so we which Alyssa, interesting enough, took advantage of, and she won one of those awards one year, and we take a little bit of the par, the entry level, a little bit of the medium level, and then heavily in the higher levels. And we'll be doing the same thing with the high school program. It'll be heavily in the sort of the higher levels with, like I said, like we've been talking about, goal setting and resilience skills. Thank you.
I have another question. If I only have a few kids that want to participate, but I don't have my entire team, is it possible that only a few come and the others don't? And if that's the case, if the answer is yes, do those kids have to come with a coach? Do I have to go with them if I want to stay with the other group at the other site?
That's a great question. I would say no if it's less than 10, because we've got Jonathan that's going to be committed to the 90 minutes that we commit to. So they would have an adult for that 90 minutes, where the rest of the teams, have the ability that when Jonathan walks away, they could go on course or they could continue hitting balls.
I apologize for interrupting, Jessica. As far as I know, Alan, no. I hate to say that, but we had an issue with this once before. Any adult that meets with our players that are part of the school district, they have to go through a clearance process, a fingerprint ID process that has to be done through our district, whether it be volunteer coaches or volunteer adults. We had an issue about this, I think about 8-9 years ago. And that's why our district came down pretty hard and said no. And only adults that have been cleared through the district are allowed to instruct and coach during practice hours. If it was outside of practice hours, let's say because it is a public course, then as long as the parents approve, then yes, after practice, on weekends, on holidays, then of course they can go by themselves. But as a coach, that liability, unfortunately, is there, and the district has been very strict on it. I had some coaches with me many years ago, and the district said no. They said only the coach of record and only adults with the background checks through the district are allowed. So I apologize, Alan. I apologize, Jessica. This is a personal experience. I wanted to share that with you guys, but the district is very strict on that.
Can our can our coaches then become certified with the school district and do the background checks and go through that? We do a national FBI background check ourselves through First Tee, but we're willing to do another one too. You know, we'll just be double checked. But that's fine too if the school district if that would make a difference so that we would be certified by the school district. That would make our relationship even closer with y'all. So, you know.
That would solve a lot of problems. And like you said, you already do a background check, and the district just needs to have a policy in place to cover the liability. And that's all it was. It was a liability issue. It wasn't nothing more than that, Alan.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Completely understood by us.
Coach Patel, we totally understand that, and we've operated the same way with the military. You know, when we work with youth from the DoD over at Monterey Pines, same thing. You know, all of our coaches obviously have been background checked, fingerprinted, et cetera, but you know, they want us to go through their own program. So yeah, that's great. Really good point. Well done.
It can be done though. I'm saying let's do this. Let's get that partnership. Let's get that so we can do exactly what Alan's saying. You know, let's get as many students out there with qualified coaches, you know, that are cleared. I think it'll be a win-win.
Well, Jessica, just put that down that we will get all of our people who are involved with the program and all of our people who are part of succession plan if Johnny's ill. We want all of our people to go through the school systems program, and we'll just pay for whatever that cost is, and then we'll just get it done.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea, and I will make sure that we follow through on that action item. Well, I did tell you all I wouldn't keep you past 4 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.